Thank you for listening to Pathways and Passions. Remember, these conversations are meant to inspire, not replace professional guidance. Take care of your heart, stay curious, and keep walking your path with passion. Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to Pathways and Passions, where we talk about everything relationships and intimacy. And today I have the wonderful pleasure of having as my guest Dr. Shilpi Chanda. And Shilpi is a life, wellness, image, and yoga coach. She is a #1 best-selling author. She is an international speaker. She is a mentor, a facilitator, and the host and producer of the Shilpi Chanda Show. Executive board member of Niagara Canada International Film Festival. And I met her through Landed for Success, and she has a passion for personal growth and is dedicated to empowering others. Shilpi captivates audiences worldwide with her powerful message of self love, wellness, resilience, purpose, and possibility. And how wonderful, because today we are discussing self love, before love, preparing for love and intimacy. And so I want to welcome Shilpi. Welcome, Shilpi.
Thank you, Marcia. It's a pleasure being here, and what you do really resonates with me so much. I cannot thank you enough to give me the opportunity to be here and share my uh, thoughts. Thank you.
Yes, I appreciate it so much. One of the things that really impresses me about you, because I follow you on social media, is your ability to reach people, your ability to love and teach people how to love themselves. That really resonated with me. And every time I see something from you, that continuously resonates with me. And I am a love person. So I thank you for being here to share your thoughts today with us.
Thank
So,
you.
we're just going to go ahead and skip to it. And just this is just a statement. So many people think self-love is selfish. How do you explain the difference between healthy self-love and self-centeredness?
There is a very fantastic difference between the two. To begin with, I think when we think of life, life begins with you. So you are your life. Taking care of yourself cannot be selfish. Now, when you are doing it at the cost of someone else's uh, time, at the some cost of someone else's life, in different ways, taking their time, or you are not being taken care in the way that you want, and you're focusing too much on just what you want but not taking care, nurturing yourself, that could be called as self-centered, when you want the whole pie and not a piece of the pie. Just for
Yeah.
instance, if we are talking about, I always think of that example, if you're cutting an apple in the house and you keep one slice for yourself, that's self love. You need the vitamins in your body, you need the fruit. But if you think, oh no, you know what, I'm going to go with the full apple, no matter who eats, who doesn't, I don't care. So now that could be, self centered, that could be selfish. But sharing and putting yourself as a priority can never be named as selfish.
I like that. I like that. I agree with you. How about this? For someone carrying past heartbreak or trauma, what are the first steps in healing before trying to date again?
I think the most important thing of life is yourself. So when you are filled with love, when we have traumatic experiences, everyone does. There is no one, no exceptions that, oh, you know what, I don't have any trauma, I don't have any traumatic experience. We all do. But the most important thing is to fill your cup first. If your cup is empty and you're trying to pour it to someone else, it's not going to happen. When you are thinking of a relationship, when you want to have someone else included in your life, it's not like they become your life. No one becomes your life. They are part of your life. You are your life. So you have to fill that cup. So when you're filled with self love, when you're filled with that much of care and attention, that it overflows to the other person, that's when you're ready. If you're still struggling with your healing, you are only attracting the people who are healing, who are not healed. So you have to raise your vibration to the level when you will get people who are healed, who are attracted to the good positive things. They will respect when you love yourself. So when it comes to relationship, I think the first thing to do is to fill yourself with self love.
And so I guess this could be a part B of that, but I so agree with you. And especially for everyone. I'm an equal opportunity lover. And I say that to mean this, that sometimes we, especially women, we give so much of ourselves of ourselves, but we don't have what it is that we need for ourselves alone before we start doing that. So before we start giving to other people, I agree with you that we have to fill ourselves up first, and then we'll have a place to give from. So when you're thinking about that, how can someone know if they're dating as a way to escape pain, especially if they're not on a healing journey, right? Versus dating from a place of wholeness.
It is actually maybe quite difficult for a person to observe themselves. At the beginning, self awareness is very important. To be self aware, you have to start taking yourself. What is awareness? When we are taking deep dive into awareness, it's mindfulness at the best.
Yes.
So you have to start there. And when you are thinking of the healing, and if you're not healed, if you're healed, if you're dicey on that, some people are not even aware that they are not healed.
Yes.
So that becomes a little bit of struggle for them to realize if they're healed. When you're healed, you just know. You will know the part of you will just imitate the, you know, emit that kind of light, emit that kind of positivity. When you are going into a relationship when you're not healed, that's the most traumatic thing. You don't want to have one trauma after the other. You have not healed from one and you're going next, diving into the next one. So take time, heal from your past, and then go into another relationship. There is a lot of time in life to do the things which is right by you. You don't want to get into a relationship where you're not healed. I don't know if I've answered your question, but for me, I think when you're coming from a place, everyone with relationships comes lot of baggage, comes lot of trauma. If you're not in relationship with the right person, and to understand, everyone could be right, but not for you.
Mm,
So to
yeah.
understand that you need to be healed, and when you are healed, you will automatically attract the person who understands you, who loves you equally. There is a we say, oh, there is unconditional love. Yes, when you are not even asking for it, you're just getting it, and you're not even asking anything for return. It's just both ways, person both the individuals are just giving. They're not thinking, oh, how much am I getting? So you're in a very healthy relationship and you're healed.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that I often say, or I often think that, yes, there is a healing process, but I also feel like sometimes we are just on a journey. So there may be some things that we don't heal completely from, but if we know those things, when those things come up in our lives, we can then say, oh, wait a minute. That's what I used to do in response to my thoughts about my trauma. But now I have some new skills and I don't have to stay there, even though I may feel that. It's kind of like um, if you lose your parents or you lose, for me, I lost my parents and my brother. And so, but every now and then, I have those feelings of grief. I have those feelings, that take over me. But then I remember, wait a minute, I don't have to stay there because I have good memories and I have better skills now to bring myself back to an awareness of we had a wonderful life together. And now I have those skills to move on. So do you think that people ever really truly just totally heal from situations? Or what are your thoughts?
I think truly healing is more like learning in a way that you can use that experience to navigate your life better.
Yeah, I agree.
Healing is not, it's not like a wound that is gonna just go, but there's gonna be a scar that's gonna stay in your heart forever. And it's okay. It's okay to have that scar because that's actually giving you a direction to become the person that you are today or you want to become. Because for me, I think every experience shapes us. It
Yes.
gives us wisdom, it gives us knowledge, and that's the tool that you need to become the person you want to be.
Yeah.
So for me, I won't say that you are for from losses. I don't think so. Anyone actually ever heals because loss of an individual in life is a big thing. We never can actually come out of that grief. But
Mhm.
yes, we know how to manage ourselves better. We know how to focus. I think most importantly, how we focus, that's more important. How we understand that, you know what, this is something that I have lost, and this is the best thing that I have. It could be memories, it could be the time with them, whatever it is. But we have to hold on to the positive because we cannot hold on to the negatives and the life will become negative. So I think
Right.
healing is always an ongoing journey. It's never ending. Every one of us is healing from something or the other
I
at
agree with you.
every point in time
I agree with
because
you.
everything doesn't happen the way we want. And when it doesn't, it hurts us. We need to heal from it. And so I think it's always a journey, but the most important part is to hold on to the positive, to understand that life is beautiful with its negative and positive, and we need to focus on the positive.
Yeah, I agree with you because even when we lose people from intimate relationships, there was still something that attracted us to that person. There was still something positive that we felt when we were in their presence. And so even if we lose that person for whatever reason, um, we still have those things that remind us of, aha, you know what? I really liked this about that person. And then we have that experience to take into a new relationship and to help remind us that, we don't have to stay in the past. We need to be able to move forward. And that person is not the new person is not the old person. So we need to let go of some of those things so that we can still be present with our new person in our lives. That's really cool. What role does forgiveness of oneself and other people play in the healing process? What?
Oh, that is, I think that's the basic of healing.
Mhm.
You cannot heal from something if you have not forgiven.
Yeah,
It is like you have a cut and you just keep scratching it. It's not going to heal. So for me, I think the first and foremost thing is to just forgive. It's hard. People would say hard. I never say anything to be hard or easy. I just say it is. It takes time. For some people, it's quick. For some people, it takes a lot of time. Some people, it takes lot of time. But forgiveness is the basic. Forgiveness, you cannot start the journey of healing without forgiving. And it's okay if you're taking time, because
Yeah.
sometimes things, such things happen in life that you really need time to forgive the other person, forgive the situation, and most importantly, forgive yourself. I feel, I always think that way, that when you're thinking that you made a mistake, maybe in a situation with a person, with an environment, whatever it is, I you did your best with the best of knowledge and information that you had at that point in time to make that particular decision. So now when you have that experience already, now you're two step ahead. Now you think, oh, thinking back, I made that mistake, it was a wrong decision, that was not a right person for me, or that environment was not right for me, but you did your best. You took the best decision at that point in time with the information and knowledge that you had at that time. Now you're better, so do better. And that's okay. There's no point in regretting. I feel life without regrets is beautiful, because think regrets as learning. It's more learning, it's more growing as a person. There's no point thinking back, because everyone wants to do their best. No
Yes.
one wants to be like, hey, I don't care, I don't want to do my best. Everyone wants to do their best, whatever it is. So forgiveness is the primary key to unlocking the door and getting into the space of healing, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. What are some daily practices that or rituals that we could do or that you could recommend for cultivating self-love?
Well, there are so many things. I always want to urge people, first of all, that spa is very good, pedicure, manicure is excellent. That's a part of self-love, but hey, come on, we have to grow from that part of things, from the outer world, and get inside and understand what self-love is for us, and how we want to um, develop more or give ourselves more. First thing first, I think everyone needs to have at least a 10 to 15 minutes of alone time. That is so primary, that is so important, that is so profound in someone's self-love journey, because in our busy life we always dedicate time to
Yeah.
work, to family, but not us. If you ask 90% of the women folk, when was the last time, or maybe men too, when was the last time you gave yourself 10 quiet moments, where 10 minutes of quiet time when you were not disturbed, you were not doing any work, you were not listening to music, you were just being yourself. So I think one of the primary practice that I believe is alone time. Two, it's part of growth process. I think you should always do something that will improve your mind, your mindset, your growth. That is reading. It could be talking to someone whom you would consider to be a Google kind of a person. Um, you always surround yourself with people who are highly dedicated to learning. You want to grow spiritually. If you don't believe in spirituality, that's okay, but I would consider meditation or quiet time, like literally quiet time with yourself for at least 5-10 minutes a day, eating healthy food, taking care of yourself, good hygiene, look good. Don't forget to wear a beautiful perfume that will remind yourself that you are you. No matter where you are, be it at home, no one is seeing you, but still, you know, at least feel good about yourself and do what makes you feel happy. You don't have to always pretend to be the person that everyone thinks you are. Just be yourself. I think the most important part is to accept how you are. Be comfortable in your own skin. No matter how you look, how you are, no one is perfect. Everyone in this world, especially in the media age, everyone is pretending to be perfect. No one is. Nobody is perfect. And you, me, everyone, I consider to be a nobody or somebody, but no one is perfect.
Yeah, I agree. We're all somebodies and we all influence someone somewhere, somehow. So I agree with you being your best that you can be at all times. And we're not going to be our best all of the time. But, when we come back to our mind, we can be the best. And we can, if we speak to ourselves, especially um, in our moments of that you're saying we should give to ourselves 10 minutes. I give more than that. I need more than that so that I can do more things. So learning from the best, doing our best. That's
Absolutely.
wonderful. So, how does self love influence the type of partner that we attract?
Oh my God, that's incredibly beautiful question, and I'm really thankful that you asked, because I think the level of self-love is directly proportional to the level of partner you will get. The higher the self love for you, the greater the quality of partner you have. I don't mean quality as in having multi talented partner, but I mean good quality as a person, as a character, integrity, values. I think when you imbibe self love in you, you know yourself better.
Yeah.
And when you know yourself better, you know your values, you do things, your actions are an integral part of your being. And
Mm,
when those coincides with your ethics, your values, then of course you're gonna attract the person with those kind of values. So I think self love is so important, and it is directly proportional. The level of your self love is directly proportional to the level of your partner that you'll have in your life,
yeah,
in simple words.
yeah. So, what signs show that someone has reached a healthy level of self love and is ready to welcome in a new relationship?
When you stop seeking, when you
Mm,
don't seek, when you are ready to give. Some people might say, oh, you know what? I'm always giving. Am I not ready? But when you are giving without expectations, when you don't want anything in return, you are giving because you are filled, you are that cup which is filled, and it's overflowing, and it's so then you know that, oh yeah, I am ready. I If the other person is giving you less time, is giving you because life is busy, everyone doesn't have that much of time for each other. So when you are satisfied with yourself, when you know that, you know what, I have accepted the way I am, I love myself, and it's okay if I'm getting less time from a person because that person cannot give me that much of time. Everyone's profession is different, everyone's way of living is different. Then you actually kind of create a beautiful world for yourself rather than clashing each other's world.
yeah.
That is when you understand that you're ready, when you're attracting the right kind of people, what you like, you know that you are ready. When you know you're looking out for people, that is one time you're really not ready.
Mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm,
what has to happen will happen at the right time when you are ready. So I think the first and foremost is checking yourself, that where you are, what you want, purpose of your life. And then when you are vibrating at a higher level, you will always attract people with a higher level. So when you are filled with self love, you
mm-hmm.
are attracting more people with self love. So I think that is when you know that you are ready.
That is so on point and so wonderful, especially in this world today with so much social media influence. And I'm not saying that because we all use a lot, all business people use social media to get their word out. Content creators, authors, speakers, we use all of that to get the word out. But we have to be even so careful on social media because there are still those people, how you get the crank calls. We used to call them crank calls, now we call
Yeah,
it
true,
smack
true. I get the
spam.
point.
You know, you get that still on social media. There's so many people out there who are predators or who give out false information that you even have to be careful on social media so that the the way you come across, those are the people whom you are going to attract. And I love what you're saying because so many of us, so many of us I come across so many women, I'll just say it that way. There are a lot of women who say, I want love, I'm ready, I want somebody. When or why isn't it happening for me? And I think that we have to be very careful that we have to be the people whom we are going to attract. And it may not be such a great idea to be to be attracted to someone in different ways. Everyone is not meant to be introduced to someone on social media. Everyone is, so there are different ways that we can be introduced to each other. We can be introduced on social media, we can do a dating app, we can do it organically, but we still have to have the skills of being who we are supposed to be and loving ourselves no matter what particular platform we meet someone on. And we have to be cautious, and men too, not just women. Men too.
Yeah,
I love,
everyone. I think
you know,
there is a lot of things that goes in social media, but one of the things that I actually think I have uh, met wonderful people through social
yes,
media.
yes,
I have, I think a lot of my life actually evolved after meeting so many people from different corners of the world, not just in US, but in India, in so many other countries. You
yes,
know, I think social media has given us the power to communicate and learn different cultures, understand different people better.
yes,
But one of the things that, of course, we have to be careful that, there are so much negative things that always is there with social media, scams and everything. But if you're focusing on the positive and you actually understand how to see a profile, you will always find, good people out there.
yes. I agree
And
with you.
I, yeah, and I think social media, you just know how to use it, and it's a tool that will help you to grow and make good friends.
Oh, yeah. You meet people from all over the world. My point, I think, more so was just to say that people still need to be careful. People still need to, it doesn't matter what particular platform you
True,
meet
that is true.
people
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You, even if you meet people in person, you still
Person.
have to be careful about, who you're associating with. But what you are speaking to, um, being yourself, knowing who you are, knowing what your values are. Those are the really important things, because one thing I do know is that your people will find you. Your
Absolutely. And I
people
think
will find you wherever you are.
you
And
are.
yeah, so I guess
I
that's
think the most important part is to be yourself.
yes.
Don't pretend to fit in anyone's frame.
Yes.
That's just not worth it.
Yeah,
Just
I
be
agree.
yourself, be natural, let it take its course. Everyone, I just believe little by little, day by day, what is meant for you will find its way. So, no matter what it is, if you're
Yeah.
looking for a partner, your love, it will
Yeah.
find you if it is meant to. You don't have to push it. You don't
I
have to
agree with
make
you.
make it happen. Yes, we need to make gestures positive, filled with love, but that shouldn't be pushy. Neither men or women should push, like make a point where they are overdoing stuff or trying to do things that they are not, just
Hmm.
to put themselves in that area where the other person will like them. So I just feel that is so not necessary. Be yourself. And when you will find that right person, when the right person will find you, you will feel so loved and so blessed because you don't have to pretend, you just have to be yourself.
Yes, yes. And that's what most people say, is that you usually find someone when you're not looking.
That is so
if
true.
if
That
you're
I
doing
think I
what you
think that
need
is
to
so
do.
true.
Yeah.
In the world of universe and law of attraction, I think the more you are more with ease with your desires and your wishes, the easier it flows to you. The more rigid you are, you're creating that resistance, the harder it is for you to achieve those.
Yeah. So when we're talking about being out there, putting ourselves out there, wanting to be have a partner who we can be intimate with. We often talk about boundaries, right? And boundaries to me are not bad things, they're actually good things. So, how can people balance the desire for intimacy with the need for boundaries while they're still going through this process of healing?
As I said earlier, I would again repeat that you don't want to get into another traumatic experience before
Yeah.
healing from one. So, if you are thinking of an intimate relationship with someone, first remember that you are healed. And another important thing, it is so important to understand to give time in a relationship.
Hmm.
Nowadays, everything is so fast, people don't wish to give time because time in itself gives the clear picture of the other person's personality and if you are gelling together. If you're not putting boundaries now and you are thinking that, oh, you know what, let it be, I want to do my best for that person. But what happens in 2 years? You will be so burnt out, you'll be overwhelmed because you did not set the boundaries right at the start.
Yes.
If you want to, when we light a candle, if we hold it straight, the drop's gonna drip it, the wax gonna drip it straight. So you have to begin with that. You start the candle holding it tilted and then light it, then it's gonna drop it differently. So we cannot assume that, oh, after sometimes it's gonna be okay. No, it's done, it's done. So you have to understand, set the boundaries when it is very young, when it is at the beginning,
Hmm.
and understand. And it's okay to change boundaries. It's okay to say a yes to something which you said no the other day. And it is okay to say a no when you said yes the other day. We get often very disturbed or confused that, oh, you know what, my boundaries are like, I will not talk to anyone after 9. And then one certain day you want to talk to someone at 9 o'clock, and it's 9:05 or whatever the time is, and you're like, oh my God. Hey, no, that's okay. It's your boundaries. You should know if you want to keep it rigid or it is flexible. But for sure, you have to have boundaries because your life is yours. If you are
Hmm.
not putting boundaries around your life, then at some point in time, you'll get confused which life is yours.
Hmm.
It's going to
Hmm.
merge with the other person and you will not understand. Just for instance, someone eats tacos on Tuesdays and you wish to eat pasta. What do you do? So you have to understand where to draw the line. So I think boundaries are so important to have a healthy relationship. um, I again would say that today we are so busy in the world where everyone is doing so many things, multiple professions, side hustles. We need to have boundaries to have our sanity, to have that self love, because when you lose boundaries, you're losing self love.
Hmm.
You have to have boundaries.
Yeah, I like when you say that people have the opportunity and the right to change boundaries. I think that sometimes when we have certain experiences and we set those boundaries because we don't want to have whatever it is that we felt was not a very good experience for us. And then we meet someone else and we try to um, um, place upon that person the same type of experiences or boundaries. It may not be necessary. It may not be
Absolutely.
necessary. So I think that it is so important, as you said, that we be a bit fluid. You know, what we do in Healthy Pathways to Love is we always tell people that yes, you should have your boundaries. And you should not go so long without knowing where your relationship is going. So we often tell people that you need to definitely check in with one another. Well, you need to check in with one another not only about how the length of your relationship, but what it is that you want in your relationship. You may have changed during your healing journey, right? So you may not
Absolutely.
be in need of a particular boundary that you
Bound.
had set in the beginning. So it's so important that you're speaking with your partner about what's going on, and you guys have the right to change
Absolutely.
those particular parameters or boundaries. That is so important. Thank you for bringing that out because
Yeah,
sometimes we lose that.
people often confuse boundaries with roadblocks. They think those are the blocks and they cannot overcome. But hey, it's your boundary, you know how to manage. You just, as you mentioned again, just understand that you have the opportunity to change it with time.
Yeah, that's really important. Let's see. What practices, and when we're talking about preparing for healthy dating and intimacy, what practices help a person bring authenticity into new relationships? Since we were just talking about boundaries, and sometimes we stop certain things and we can start certain things at different times. So, what practices help a person bring authenticity into a new relationship?
That's such a beautiful question. And I think a couple of things really strike my mind. One is being vulnerable.
Oh,
Another thing is being yourself. You cannot expect to have a very healthy, authentic relationship if you're not being yourself, if you're not vulnerable.
mhm,
You
mhm,
have to be, you have to open up, and you have to trust the process.
mhm.
If you want to get into the heart of another person, find the path to the heart, then you have to open your heart too. You cannot think, okay, I'll keep everything closed here,
Mhm.
sealed, and I want the way to another person's heart. That doesn't happen.
Yes.
So you have to share what your fears are, what you love, what you care, what your values are. And you will see when the other person also shares those same values, those same things, you feel you'll build a stronger relationship. And when you know it is not a match, you understand it's not a match. And that's okay. But to understand, to go into a relationship, if you want to build a relationship, you have to open yourselves. I have seen people being very scared,
Mhm.
fearing that, oh my god, what if I say that I had um, this kind of experience, how the person's going to judge me. If the person judges you, it's not for you.
Right.
You don't want that kind of a partner, that kind of a relationship who judges you. So I think that is kind of, in a way, it's kind of a test for the other person, not in true sense of test, but still, I think vulnerability and authentic, being yourself, being your true self, embracing like, hey, you know what, I like red, and that's okay. The other person hates red, so you just go with, oh no, I like pink, just because the other person hates red. And it's okay to have different opinions, different perspective, because we come from different experiences, we had different experiences.
Yeah.
So to build a healthy relationship, be yourself, speak your truth, and how far you can open your heart.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you. One of the things you talked about that just kind of sparked within me um, was transitions when you're saying that, it's okay if that person is not for you.
For
And I
you.
think sometimes we get so stuck in that for different reasons. It may have been our upbringing, may have been just experiences we've had inside or outside of our families and our friendships. But that transitioning from one space to another space, from a possibility of someone being your intimate romantic partner to that person, eh, it's just not going to be. It's not going to happen. That is okay. And I
That's okay.
think that sometimes we don't say that even up front, that, I'm dating casually, and these are the things that I, and these are the things that I expect in my casual relationships, versus I'm dating seriously, and we're getting a little bit more serious. But even if and I like to say this, even up into the time that you're in a serious or committed relationship, or you're thinking about getting married to someone, and you find out that is just not going to work. Sometimes people go through with those decisions to
That
be
is that
together. Thus, we have our breakups within 1 to 1.5 years, or we get divorced. And what a big cost that is in getting divorced. Whereas if we go into something and we realize that there's a possibility that we're not going to end up in a committed relationship or a serious relationship or even marriage, but that's okay. That's okay.
absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Every book that you read might not be of your taste, and it's okay. You saw the cover and you thought it was meant for you, and it wasn't. And it's okay to leave that book half read, and it's just okay. You don't have to go through the pain of suffering just because you said you liked it at first, and it's okay, because we all are growing, we are changing. I think people take
Mhm.
something so rigidly, and they don't think it is possible to open up themselves to opportunities or to new beginnings, because it's a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
I think that is a mindset that we need to work on, because life is one, and we need to understand how beautiful life can be when you have the right person by your side,
Yes.
and when you know that you are in a good relationship, your life will change positively in a very beautiful way.
Yes, yes. And not everyone is meant to be that person for you. Like you said, there are different books, there are things that we read. Sometimes we have to put those things down. Sometimes I have to stop watching certain movies. Sometimes I've walked out on concerts because of the content of the concert was just not for me. Um, yeah, so yeah, I agree with you so much. I
Yeah,
appreciate you
I,
being
I
here.
actually heard that. I want to add, like, the cost of returning, like if you're getting in a train, a wrong train, which is taking you in a different direction, is better to get off the moment you realize, rather than go to that wrong destination. It's
Yes.
going to cost you more time, effort, whatever. So,
Yes, that is so good. I love how your stories, and I read that on your website too. I love how your stories are so freeing and so on point for people. That is so
thank you.
wonderful. That's great. Okay. What advice would you give to listeners who feel behind in love or pressured by age, culture, or family expectations?
You are
What?
you. The first thing first, I believe, little by little, day by day, what is meant for you will find its way. The important part is to realize yourself, what you actually mean to yourself, what your life is all about, what is your purpose. And if you think you have done enough for yourself, you have found your purpose, you are doing amazing, then do it for the community. And if you are thinking you're doing for the community, do it for the country. And if you are thinking you have done enough for the country, do it for the world. Don't stop being the person that you want to be. And when it will be your time to find love, to be in a relationship, you will. Don't force it. Never. Not because of age, not because of culture, nothing. There should be no reason for you to force yourself. This life is beautiful, it is to be lived,
Mhm.
and live happily. Choose happiness every moment, every moment. If that decision is not making you feel good, then that you don't have to go through it. Some things, I always tell my daughter that some things in life are necessary. Like, doctor visits, necessary. Eating food, necessary. But if you don't feel like playing, it's okay to drop. If you don't feel like watching the movie, it's okay. If you don't feel like getting married, it's okay. If you don't feel like getting into the relationship, it's okay. If you feel that someone is pushing you to do something that is not meant for you, then
Yes.
your heart has to be the guide to tell
Yeah.
you what you want, to tell you the path that you need to follow. That listen to your intuition. Intuition
Mhm.
never goes wrong.
Yes.
Listen to yourself, listen to your heart. There is Who made the rule? Who made all these rules? These are people from very different ages who made those rules. Those rules don't even exist now because time has
Yes.
changed. So much have developed with age. Before, in some cultures, they used to say, don't eat leafy vegetables at night because at that time they thought it was not something um, good to do. But now everyone knows that at night, at that time, they did not have electricity. So if you don't have electricity, then you can't see it well. And leaves have so many things in them. You have to clean it well. So that was one reason not to eat green leafy vegetables.
Mhm.
But now that's not applicable. So if you are tied with those cultural obligations, family obligations, age, whatever it is, those are not applicable right now. The one thing that you have to do is live your life because you are your life. Your life begins with you and ends with you. When you are gone, your life is gone. So just remember, take a pause and understand that, do I want to live for someone else, pretend to be someone else, fulfill those expectations made by someone else, or live your life in a happy way the way you want? It's as simple as that. Which is going to give you happiness? Do it. That's it.
Yeah, I believe that we're all spiritual. We all have a spirituality um, that no matter what we believe in, we all have a spirituality. So, how do you think what is the relationship between spiritual growth and self love?
I think those are very intertwined because for me, spirituality means knowing yourself, nurturing yourself, caring for yourself, and loving yourself. And that's self love. Spirituality means cultivating those uh, values in you which makes you a better human being. And what are those? Loving yourself and people around you, respecting yourself and people around you. I think the major part of spirituality for me is like knowing, owning your own truth. That is spirituality.
Mhm,
That's self love.
mhm.
So there is a saying, like, truth is actually, maybe that could be my saying, but truth that resides in us is universe for me. The truth that resides in us. You could call it God, you could call it whatever name you want, but the truth that resides within is the ultimate. And you have to align with it. The moment you align with it, you are
Mm,
spiritual. And the moment you align with yourself, you are practicing self love. So I
yeah,
think those for me are very intertwined, for me, kind of very close to each other. Um, so if someone says they're spiritual, some people, uh, the first thing you do in spirituality is you meditate, you take care of yourself. So
yeah.
those are self-love. So you cannot just separate the two. For me, yeah, pretty much I think both are, supporting each other.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Okay, we are coming down a little bit. Um, so we're going to ask a couple of questions. Now, this is the second time that I'm doing this, but I watch other people and what they do, and some people have questions. So I have some questions that I like to ask you as we try to wrap up. So when you're thinking about being on a journey, right? Our podcast is called Pathways and Passions. With what pathway are you currently walking in your life, and what passion fuels that pathway for you?
Okay, pathway and passion. What pathway I'm walking towards? I'm walking towards uh, becoming the person that I would respect when I'm 80. And I
Mm,
would love if I was 3 years old. That's my pathway. And what is the passion that leads me? Honestly, the moment I think how I would want my daughter to be,
mm,
I want to be that model where my daughter could look up and say, you know what, I like my mom, what she's doing, and feel like an inspiration. And I can pave the path for young generations to come and do achieve more, much more than I would have achieved in my life.
that's beautiful. Thank you. When you're looking at the heart of things, what does self love look like for you right now in this season of your life?
For me, when I think I have the courage to say a no, even when other people uh, really think I should be saying a yes, I feel that I'm doing really good with self love. And there is always a a thought that I always have in my mind that I am not responsible for anyone else's emotional maturity.
Mm,
So my doing, my action or inaction, if it's making someone emotionally, in certain way, then I am not responsible for it.
nice, nice, nice. Yeah, sometimes other people try to put things on us that are just not ours. Just not
I am like,
ours.
I am not taking that pressure. I'm not taking that, that expectation on my head and taking that baggage on my back. No, I'm
Yeah,
not, because
yeah.
life is too precious for me, and I want to live the life that I would smile every moment and think if this moment my life, I would be no more. I would live this earth with a smile.
Mm,
And
that's
I
beautiful.
think I am doing pretty good at that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. If our listeners could take one action today to live with more love, authenticity, or passion, what would you want it to be?
Start practicing saying no to the things you don't want to do. Be in. Don't go to situations, places, people you don't want to.
Mm,
Choose your happiness. Choose your happiness. Choose yourself. Choose your life. And it's not being selfish, it's self love. It's
yeah,
not being selfish, it's self love.
yeah. Well, thank you so, 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 so much. I really, truly appreciate our time that we spent together. And I'm looking forward to so much more from you. And I know that you're always saying, you're talking about your mini me and the love that you express for the world. She cannot help but to have that love. It's in her face every day. And I think that's a beautiful thing. That's a
I
beautiful
think the one thing that I would really want her to imbibe in her is love for herself and others.
Yeah,
The rest, everything will follow.
that's beautiful. Thank you so much for being
Thank
with
you so
us.
much for having me. I loved this. It was so beautiful. Thank you.
Good. And then just tell other people where they can find you again. I told them in the beginning, but where can they find you?
You can find me, just type my name. You can see it on screen. You can Google me. You can find my website. You can find me on Facebook, Shilpi Chanda. It's everywhere, Shilpi Chanda. You can find me on Facebook, Insta, everywhere. And Personally, if you want to reach out to me, there are email addresses. Please email me, WhatsApp me, message me. How far I can, I always try to reply. If you are asking me for some help, I'm always there. How with all full capacity. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.